Hey everyone, so today I'll be dealing with the topic gender equality among the heterosexuals. This video is all about a class which I had already taken in my neighborhood, panchayat anganwadi. So there were some adolescent children coming, and we had this class about the gender equality which has to be followed which is a mandatory thing to be followed in the homes of the children and also generally in the society. So today I'll be dealing with that topic, and I'll be just engaging you with some points which I've already shared with them. So gender equality among the heterosexuals. So that is the topic for today. So we'll jump into the subtopics. But before that, there are some key terms coming in, that is feminism, the heterosexuals, and the homosexuals. First, let's start with the biological differences. So basically, a girl and a boy can have many biological differences, but that should not be a factor for them to be treated differently in the society. Now, we all know that, right? Now, let's jump into sex and gender. Now, both of these terms are different. Sex basically means it's biological, and it is something which is given at birth to us. And biologically, it is considered mainly as a girl, a male or a female. And that is the biological sense. Now, gender is the gender roles that an individual plays in the society. Like, for example, the role of a mother, the role of a father, etc. So that is the gender roles. So that is the main difference between sex and gender. So feminism is the first key term which I've already said. So the word feminism is quite popular nowadays, but people often misinterpret it. Well, people associate it with something related to women, but that's not the real case. Feminism simply means giving equal treatment to all the genders, all the sexes prevalent in the society. Especially since we're discussing about the heterosexuals, we're concentrating about the heterosexuals. It means equal treatment of male and female, or a girl or a boy. So that is basically feminism. But people often associate it with something which is only given to women, or it is a term which gives importance only to women, but that's not the case about feminism. So that's the general meaning about feminism. So heterosexuals are the ones who feel sexually attracted to the opposite sex. Now homosexuals are the ones who feel sexually attracted to their own sex. So the next subtopic is about taboos. Now, taboos are something which most of the people in the society are aware about, but still feel embarrassed or very much disturbed, or rather disgusted to talk about it. So, some of the gender related taboos which I had discussed in the Anganwadi was sex and periods. Both of these terms are very common. Well, it's something which is common in our society among the teenagers, but they still feel very much disgusted and embarrassing to talk about them. So one activity, kind of a mode which I had done there to make them feel free to say about to tell about or to discuss about these terms, was that I made each of them stand up, and I just made them to say these words louder, that is sex or periods. So that's one activity which I made them to do. During this activity, I really was happy that the children were not so much embarrassed of saying these terms. I was really happy with that. I thought that they'll be feeling very shy to say about these topics and to discuss about their feelings, but they were all cooperative and they were all understandable, and it was fun doing the activity. The next subtopic is about the sexual abuses faced by children, especially adolescent children. The problems which rise when we hear about sexual abuses, even now, is that we associate it with girls, basically. Since ours is a male dominant or patriarchal society, we often associate girls as the survivors or the victims of such abuses. But that's not the case. There are a number of boys who face sexual abuses even from their households, but are very afraid of telling it because of the socially constructed gender roles that boys should not cry, boys are the people who should be strong. So, because of these oppression which boys face, they are the ones who often feel very much disturbed and very much shy and embarrassing to talk about these kind of topics, especially sexual abuse and all of such topics related to sexual abuse. So I think that is something very difficult, and I discussed this topic in the panchayat anganwadi, and children were very much surprised about such sexual abuses faced by boys, but they really understood about the topic and they were cooperative, and it was something I felt it was really helpful for them. The next subtopic is about the sexual abuses faced by children, especially adolescent children. The problems which rise when we hear about sexual abuses, even now, is that we associate it with girls, basically. Since ours is a male dominant or patriarchal society, we often associate girls as the survivors or the victims of such abuses. But that's not the case. There are a number of boys who face sexual abuses even from their households, are very afraid of telling it because of the socially constructed gender roles that boys should not cry, boys are the people who should be strong. So, because of these oppression which boys face, they are the ones who often feel very much disturbed and very much shy and embarrassing to talk about these kind of topics. That's the kind of sexual abuse and the problems after the abuse that children face because of the oppression of the society. Children often feel scared and embarrassing to discuss about such experiences. So that is something that we should change. We treat both a girl and a boy equally, or a girl. Society plays a very important role for a survival of sexual abuse to improve. So, as I already discussed, the boys face a lot of pressure and oppression in the society of them to be following the gender roles. So, because of that, they often tend to feel scared and embarrassed to discuss about such experiences. So, that should be changed, and we should also understand that both the genders, both the sexes, the girl, either the girl or a boy, they should be treated equally regarding all aspects, so that we can avoid such situations where the child faces problems of telling or sharing their experiences of such sexual abuses. Just like boys, girls also face a lot of problems and regarding these sexual abuses and the mental trauma which comes aftermath because of the societal construct as a patriarchal society. As I've already said, girls also face a very crucial role of surviving in such a society after they are being sexually abused. They face a lot of problems from the society, from their parents, from the households, unless they have a very supportive system around them, such as a very supportive parents, a very good set of siblings and friends, and a very good community to support her. So that is the case of sexual abuses and the problems which comes to the children or the survivors of such sexual abuses. So the implantation of gender roles is quite a large topic to be discussed, but because of the time limit, I had discussed some important things, important points there at the Anganwadi. So some of them are about partners. Well, a partner we all know about partners, right? We often hear it in movies or maybe around us in households, etc. So, when we think of a business partner, we associate it with equal amount of um, commitment, equal amount of you know equal amount of trust, equal amount of funding, etc. So, when it comes to the household partners, that is, in a marriage, be it a couple, maybe in a heterosexual couple, I'm considering about the heterosexual community. So, as a heterosexual couple, a boy or a girl, or a male or a female, or maybe a man or a woman, both of them are equal partners, but often in the society, both these genders are quite seen very much differently. They're not treated equally. Well, this is because of the presence of a male dominant or patriarchal society. The women often are seen below the men. They are suppressed and oppressed because of the society. So, the relevance of partners and the sharing of household work is very important in such situations, and it's a very relevant topic to be discussed even now. So, sharing of work simply means you are sharing your household work or maybe work related to your partnership equally. So, when it comes to marriage, also this is very important. The sharing work is important. We often say that girls, according to, I'm not saying it in my perspective, but often we hear that girls or women commonly are the ones who do the household work, even though she is working outside the house. She has a paid work. Even though she has a paid work, she is the one supposed to do the household work. But the men are the ones who do the paid job, but um, only do the paid job. They rest, they come home, they rest. So, that is something which is in the hands of the woman, because the woman is mother, she is God, and she is often related to such huge terms. So, that is a very wrong sense of doing something. So, the implantation of gender roles is quite a large topic to be discussed, but because of the time limit, I had discussed some important things, important points there at the anganwadi. So, some of them are about partners. Well, a partner, we all know about partners, right? We often hear it in movies or maybe around us in households, etc. So, when we think of a business partner, we associate it with equal amount of um, commitment, equal amount of you know equal amount of trust, equal amount of funding, etc. So, when it comes to the household partners, that is, in a marriage, be it a couple, maybe in a heterosexual couple, I'm considering about the heterosexual community. So, as a heterosexual couple, a boy or a girl, or a male or a female, or maybe a man or a woman, both of them are equal partners, but often in the society, both these genders are quite seen very much differently. They're not treated equally. Well, this is because of the presence of a male dominant or patriarchal society. The women often are seen below the men. They are suppressed and oppressed because of the society. So, the relevance of partners and the sharing of household work is very important in such situations, and it's a very relevant topic to be discussed even now. So, sharing of work simply means you are sharing your household work or maybe work related to your partnership equally. So, when it comes to marriage, also this is very important. The sharing work is important. way to understand the sharing of work between partners are advertisements. And there was an advertisement recently which I saw in the television. It was about a liquid soap, a dishwasher soap, liquid one, and it the context is that it's about a boy and a girl discussing about their future, and during the discussion, the boy comes up with the helping mentality of uh, you know well washing the dishes after their marriage. The boy tells that, yeah, I'll help you in washing all the dishes after marriage. So the girl is quite aware of the social concepts or the social hierarchy and the gender roles prevalent in the society. So she was very bold enough to ask him, or to tell him, rather we should say tell him that, yeah, that's a nice sort of you, but I will also help you in cleaning the household. So the boy was quite surprised that she answered quite spontaneously to that thought of that helping thought of his, because we often see it is a very sympathetic way of approaching women, and giving that sympathy kind of a look that we are helping women during this hard time. We are helping women to do the housework, to do the dishes and everything. But it's not actually a helping thing. It's something which is to be shared. So that was quite an interesting advertisement. And when I went to the Anganwadi, I also made the children listen to this advertisement, and made them to interpret it in their own way, so that so that I can understand about their mental approach to such advertisements. So that was a quite interesting advertisement. I think we've come to the end of the session one, that is gender equality among the heterosexuals, part one. There will be a part two which is which will be coming. I've not taken the class there at the Anganwadi, but I'll be taking that soon. And immediately after that, I'll be doing a second session or a second part of this video. So that's all about this video. So all of these thoughts which I said was very dear to me, which I wanted to. Well, I really wanted these thoughts to be shared to some children, because children are the next generation of people to live in the society. So I found it very pleasing and very appealing, so that I could discuss these topics to the children, especially adolescent children. So thank you so much for listening to this video. Thank you so much. So the next subtopic is the implantation of gender roles in the society. So when it comes to gender role, there is a lot to discuss. But speaking of gender roles, as I've already discussed in the previous topics, um, gender roles are socially constructed for each and every individual to fit into the society, so that they can live a more hierarchical society, hierarchical way of living in the society. The role of a mother, the role of a daughter, the role of a son, father, etc. Now, talking about gender roles, we often see people gifting toys and dolls to children. It's quite different, because dolls are mostly gifted to girls, and boys are often gifted trucks, maybe cars, etc. So this is actually a part of you know, the the force the forced gender roles which are present in the society, of people trying to fit those children into the society, into the socially constructed gender roles of the society. So people often relate girls or women to being to remaining in to remain in the household and do the household works, looking after the children. So that is something which comes from the thought that women or girls are weak both mentally and physically, and so they are the ones who are supposed to take care of the children, look after the household, and etc. But men are quite strong enough, both physically and mentally, so that is the reason why they are gifted cars and trucks. So they are the ones who are supposed to go out for work and then work for the family, look after the children, look after the wife, etc. So that is one often relatable thing which maybe every one of us can relate about the gender roles. Trying people trying to fit us into the gender role. Well, I think every one of us might have got such kind of a doll or maybe a toy, right? So that is quite relatable.